Hey everyone, this is David Brown with the migration update for April 4th, 2024 from the Braddock Bay Hawk Watch. It was another miserable morning weather-wise, so I took the opportunity to sleep in and finally met Kim out at the East Spit around 8:45. And although in this photo it's kind of hunkered down, here we have a large white egret that had a long yellow bill. This was the first great egret of the season. There was a strong northeast wind and drizzle, and the lake was really moving. We made it out to the tip of the East Spit, and the water level in this area is really up, so there's not as much of the mudflat remaining. Here we have a flock of double-crested cormorants migrating by, and cormorant numbers really seem to be picking up. Today was the first day that we were seeing flocks of 40 or 50 at a time. Kim spotted the bird of the day. Here we have a medium-sized sandpiper. Very pale overall, white underneath and a paler back color, black legs, and a medium-length black bill. This is a Sanderling. And we even got to see it fly and got to see that bold white stripe on the wings. And Sanderling is a species that me and Kim are very familiar with from birding in Delaware. And this one was really early for this region. In fact, someone sent us a message saying this might be the earliest ever arrival for a Sanderling in this region. And we didn't have to wait very long for another first of year, and this one was a long-awaited one that we knew would be showing up any day. Here we have a large white water bird with very pointed wings with black on the underside of the wingtips, a black cap to the head, and a very thick orangish-red bill. This is a Caspian tern. Caspian terns are the largest species of tern in the world, and as the season goes on, we can get pretty good numbers of them hanging out in that Barrier Island area, as many as 100 or more. You are still able to walk across from the East Spit onto the Barrier Island, although there was some water running from the lake into the bay, so your shoes got a little bit wet. And as we got back to our cars, we had another flock of double-crested cormorants migrate by. From the East Spit, we had 44 species. Next, we headed over to Braddock Bay Park and sat in our cars eating breakfast and waiting for the weather to clear up. Finally, the misty rain did stop, but those strong northeasterly winds continued and even strengthened. But we did have about 2.5 hours in between the rain showers that we got a little bit of a raptor flight. Here we have a small gull. Notice on the upper wing, you have kind of a wedge of white here and black just at the very tips of the wing feathers, and kind of a similar pattern for the underside of the wing as well. We see a somewhat skinny black bill, and we see that the head is starting to become black, so it's transitioning from non-breeding plumage into breeding plumage. This is an adult Bonaparte's gull. Here's another look at the same bird, and Bonaparte's gulls are distinctive compared to the other common gulls that we see, but there are a couple of rarities that look similar, such as little gull and black-headed gull, that we need to be aware of. Here we have an osprey with a fish that flew in and landed in a nearby tree, and there was a decent amount of osprey activity with 2 or 3 of them hunting the bay. Despite those strong unfavorable winds, we did have a few dozen turkey vultures push through today. Here's the topside view of a raptor that has brown wings and back and a white head and white tail. This is an adult bald eagle. And here's another good-sized group of double-crested cormorants migrating through. Notice that they're all dark and they have somewhat long tails. I saw a group of around 10 finches coming towards us, so I jumped out of the car with my camera and took photos, and they turned out just to be house finches, but it was a bigger group than we've been seeing recently. Here we have the top side of a raptor that's brown overall. We see a somewhat long tail and long, somewhat pointed wings, and we also see a white rump patch, making this a northern harrier. Here we have a large corvid with a large head and large bill, long tail, and a lanky appearance with long wings that are somewhat pointed. This is a common raven. Here we have a large raptor that's brown on the head and the underside of the body, but a lot of white throughout the underwings, including in this wing pit area. This is a juvenile bald eagle. Here we have a large wading bird that's blue and gray overall. We see trailing legs and feet. We see that the head is curved into an S shape. And a very pointed, long yellow bill. This is a great blue heron. And as the rain was starting back up, I took one walk out onto the boardwalk just to scan through the ducks once, but something had flushed them all and there were hardly any of them in sight. Taking a look at the eBird report from the Hawk Watch, today we had 40 species. I picked up 3 new species for the season today, which were Sanderling, Caspian tern, and great egret. Taking a look at the hawk count report for our migrant raptor totals, today we had 22 turkey vultures, 1 osprey, 2 bald eagles, 1 Cooper's hawk, 1 red-tailed hawk, and 1 American kestrel, for a total of 28 migrating raptors. That brings the April total to 174 and the season total to 8,294. Taking a look at the forecast for tomorrow, morning snow showers will transition to rain showers with a high in the low 40s and rather strong northwest winds. Would only expect light migration. For Saturday, mostly cloudy, high in the upper 40s with northwest winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Again, fairly strong northwest winds, but at least it won't be raining. Light, maybe moderate migration. And for Sunday, more sunshine finally after all this rain. Looking partly cloudy with a high in the upper 40s and light north-northeast winds. So should start to get some more activity. Even though it's an unfavorable wind direction, we may still get a decent turkey vulture flight and hopefully other species as well. Well, we continue to make the best of the crummy conditions. Some nice first of years today, especially that really early Sanderling. And nice to see great egret and Caspian terns returning as well. It looks like it will finally start to clear up over the weekend after all this rain that we've been having. And then looking ahead to the end of next week, maybe a few days of southerly winds. So we'll keep an eye on that. Hope you're able to join us soon out at the Braddock Bay Hawk Watch. From Like eBirds, this is David Brown. Thanks for watching.